What's up guys, it is I, once again, Mr. Gamer 990, and today guys, I want to share with you guys and girls another video discussion on video games. This time however, I'm going to be delving into the 2011 action role-playing game Dark Souls, which was released in both Japan and North America, and it was created by Hidetaka Miyazaki-san, the current president of From Software, and was released across the world. Many people had difficulty playing this game because of course of the difficulty of the game, and the game, while it's very notorious for being very difficult, it's a very challenging and rewarding game which does reward you based on your experience and how you played the game. And for this particular video, in the same vein as my Far Cry 3 video, in which I was talking about the ending to Far Cry 3, the fate of Voss, Jason Brody, and of course Voss's sister, Citra, who Jason Brody was in love with, and she in turn was in love with him. I'm going to be discussing two specific characters in Dark Souls. Those two characters are Shiva of the East, also known as Shiva the Traitor, and the other character is Oscar the Faithless. These two characters are the ones that most intrigue me, and if you guys and girls do your own research on Dark Souls and how the game was originally supposed to be released over in Japan and North America, the original game, both Shiva of the East and Oscar the Faithless had their own respective stories which do intertwine with your character, my character, being the chosen undead. Oscar the Faithless and Shiva of the East cross paths with the chosen undead, and their fate based on the research we do on Dark Souls. I'm going to be discussing Shiva of the East, or Shiva the Traitor, and Oscar the Faithless separately, starting with Shiva of the East, also known as Shiva the Traitor. Shiva the Traitor in the original Dark Souls game that was supposed to be released before the one we have right now, he was a traitor obviously based on his name, and he was to betray you, the chosen undead, and you get hints of his betrayal from such characters like Alvina, a cat-like lady who is the leader of the Guardian Warriors who guard the forest, the Darkroot Basin, against the chosen undead and any other who trespass in their territory, and Shiva of the East was one of them, or so we thought. And based on what we know, Shiva of the East had recently joined them, and Alvina had suspected something about him. It's not just Alvina who suspects him of being a traitor, but Lautrec and this other character known as Trusty Patches, or as we know him from Demon Souls, the spiritual predecessor to Dark Souls, as Patches the Hyena. Lautrec, Patches, and of course Alvina, all three of them suspect Shiva as being a traitor, and Shiva of the East seeks this weapon, a weapon which is known as the Chaos Blade, the equivalent of the Makoto from Demon Souls. The Makoto and Chaos Blade are both very dangerous weapons with their own personalities, because believe it or not, these two blades, these two katanas, they're both alive to say the least, and whoever wields them become corrupted because of these weapons and its foul nature. These weapons are very corrupt, and they corrupt those who wield it, including Shiva of the East. Shiva of the East was already a scumbag from the very beginning, but this sword makes him even worse, and you, the chosen undead, has to battle him when he takes the Chaos Blade from you, after he notices that you have the Chaos Blade, and you have two ways of going about it. One, you could give him the Chaos Blade and he will kill you to test this weapon and its power, its very foul power, or you can just walk away and he will try to kill you for it. And behind Shiva of the East, who's always close by, is his bodyguard, a ninja who is mute, a mute ninja who protects Shiva at all costs. This is a very strong bond they have, and if Shiva wants to kill you for this Chaos Blade, the mute ninja will assist him, even though he has no personal vendetta against you. It's just that his loyalty to Shiva comes first, and your life, my life, the chosen Undead's life means nothing. And the way you can actually get back the Chaos Blade is if you go to the painted world of Ariamis, which is located in Orlando, the city of gods. And in the city you will find this painting. Once you enter this painting, you're inside the painted world of Ariamis. You, the chosen undead, and Shiva have to duel with each other for the ownership of this blade. And after you kill Shiva, all he can see is red, and he sees nothing but red. Shiva in the end has lost his mind. He's become exactly what this weapon made him into, a cold-hearted killer with no soul, no humanity, and those without humanity become either hollow or they just stay dead and rot in the ground. And that's the fate of Shiva of the East, Shiva the Traitor. And what happens to the Chaos Blade after that, no one knows. One thing's for sure, this blade must never be wielded by anyone, no matter who you are, man, woman or child. You must never wield this blade or seek it out, because this blade is very much alive and it's very corrupt and will corrupt anyone who touches it or anyone who wields it. That was Shiva of the East, also known as Shiva the Traitor. Now I'm going to be discussing Oscar the Faithless, and Oscar's story is quite tragic and quite inspiring too, because Oscar the Faithless, as his name suggests, is one without fate, one without purpose, and wants to define his own legacy and to leave his mark in the world the way you, the chosen undead, are destined to leave your mark in the world, whether to become the Dark Lord in the Age of Man, the Age of Dark, or to link the flame and restart the Age of Fire before the inevitable fate of man, that being the Age of Dark, because Lord Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, has broken the cycle, which is the biggest taboo of them all. He broke the cycle, thus preventing the Age of Dark from coming into fruition. Lord Gwyn is a huge fool because he does not understand he's only delaying the inevitable being the Age of Dark. And the paths of both Oscar the Faithless and the chosen undead, their paths are meant to intertwine, and Oscar the Faithless actually assists you throughout your journey, whether to link the flame or to become the new Dark Lord, thus starting the Age of Man, the Age of Dark. And depending on your choice whether to link the flame or become the Dark Lord, Oscar the Faithless will choose the exact opposite of your choice, whether it be linking the flame or becoming the Dark Lord. And we, the chosen undead, and Oscar the Faithless have to battle each other. Even though we don't like it, we are meant to battle each other. It's what the prophecy had said, and Oscar the Faithless, like Lord Gwyn, is delaying it because Oscar wants nothing more than to become a part of the prophecy, not just aiding the chosen undead, but to carve his own path, his own legacy, and to become a part of the prophecy, whether it be to link the flame or become the Dark Lord. Oscar wants what we have, that being fate, that being purpose, and that being a reason to exist. Oscar has no reason to exist whatsoever, and that very notion eats him alive. Oscar is so sickened by the idea of him having no purpose, and we in fact do have a purpose in this world, in this very dark, decrepit world. We have a purpose where he does not, and Oscar wants it. He wants it so bad, and if that means Oscar the Faithless has to battle us for that purpose, so be it. Compared to Shiva of the East, also known as Shiva the Traitor, I felt really bad for Oscar the Faithless because Oscar's story is one of tragedy. Oscar for so long had sought out purpose, he sought out fate, his fate, and wants to carve his own path, only to realize Oscar has no part in this world, he has no purpose, and he is meant to aid the chosen undead in his journey, in his path to becoming either the Dark Lord or to link the flame. Oscar's story, like I said, is one of tragedy and one that broke my heart so much. I felt so bad for Oscar as opposed to Shiva, because Shiva's story I was very scared by. To be honest with you guys and gals, I have no idea why Miyazaki-san did not release Dark Souls 1 the way it should be, in my opinion, in the case with Oscar the Faithless and Shiva of the East story, their stories, and the impact it would have left on both us, the chosen undead, and any other players who play this game for the very first time, because Oscar the Faithless and Shiva of the East story sounds so intriguing based on what was originally intended for them both, but what we have now is okay, I guess. It's just that there could have been more with them and their characters, whether the Dark Souls Souls that we could have had and the Dark Souls we now have, I do love this game nonetheless, and the stories of both Oscar the Faithless and Shiva of the East, their stories as well as the other stories of the other characters in Dark Souls 1, like in the Souls series in general, all of their stories are very intriguing and very illuminating. Their stories are one of many reasons why I love the Souls series and why I love Dark Souls. Ever since Demon Souls, I fell deeply in love with the Souls series from Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3. All of these games are so good and so much fun to play through, and these characters for me personally are what define these games and what defines our journey as the chosen undead, or the bearer of the curse in Dark Souls 2, or the Ashen One in Dark Souls 3, Dark Soul 1, Dark Soul 2, and Dark Soul 3, as well as Demon Souls. Each one of them rank among my all-time favorite games, and it's all because of Hidetaka Miyazaki-san. I have nothing but absolute love and respect for Miyazaki-san and the games he produced, especially the Souls series. These games are truly amazing. The Souls series are not defined for their difficulty, but their stories, their characters, and everything about this world and our journey as the nameless hero who wanders across the land to either link the flame or to become the Dark Lord. Much like Oscar the Faithless, we hope to leave our mark in this world and to accomplish great things and to overcome the odds, no matter how difficult they may be. And that was my discussion on Dark Souls concerning the characters of Oscar the Faithless and Shiva of the East. Thank you guys and gals for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and do check out my other channel where I talk about movies, television, anime, etc. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.